Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady of the World. Eleanor Roosevelt was not only the First Lady of the United States, but an outspoken leader who redefined women's roles in society, fought for civil rights, and became a prominent and influential figure during the social reform. From 1935 to 1962, Eleanor, 6 days a week, would share with millions her perspective on social and political issues, discussing controversial topics such as prohibition, the New Deal, and World War II. Her column titled My Day was significant during the Civil Rights Movement because it provided hope for African Americans, as Eleanor strongly agreed with racial equalities. In 1960, Eleanor Roosevelt's book, You Learn by Living, was published. She provides each reader with valuable lessons in life and insight, stating, "No man is defeated without until he has first been defeated within." In 1948, Eleanor with assurance delivered a speech entitled The Struggle for Human Rights. She spoke in front of thousands of French citizens and delegates of the United Nations. Eleanor addressed the issue between countries who refused to accept the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. She insisted and felt the need to persuade those non-compliant countries to accept fundamental liberties. Eleanor Roosevelt lived during the Progressive Era. This era was the age of reform. It introduced a new system of government and was a time of social activism that dealt with urbanization and with the uprising of women's suffrage. This era most likely sparked and greatly affected Eleanor's view on rights, equality, and justice. Her works were influential to women as she continued to expand the roles of women in society. Eleanor publicly supported African American civil rights and insisted that the New Deal programs, which her husband President Franklin D. Roosevelt began, would cease to discriminate against African Americans who were receiving a partial amount of relief monies. In Eleanor Roosevelt's newspaper column, My Day, it depicted many topics of the era, such as World War II. She discussed the bombing of Pearl Harbor that occurred. Reading Eleanor's works today can help display the importance of equality and, more importantly, standing up for it despite what others may say. Eleanor Roosevelt was not only the First Lady of the United States, but is also considered by many, including President Harry S. Truman, the First Lady of the world. Due to Eleanor's social and political protests, women have reserved their rights and liberties. Eleanor has become an influence in the creation of the United Nations, improved human rights, and remained one of the most influential figures in all of American history. She became one of the first delegates in the U.S. to join the United Nations and served as the first chair of the UN Commission on Human Rights. Because of Eleanor Roosevelt's great impact in reforming the early society, women and African American rights are now present and welcomed. Eleanor Roosevelt redefined the role of a woman in society who now obtain the same equal rights as men. One interesting fact is Eleanor Roosevelt was the longest-serving First Lady of the United States.